Yo, what's up guys, it's NLW Figs here, back again with another video. Just got this shipment in from Ringside. It's AEW Unmatched Series 1, the first edition of this series. Got the whole set going to be going through and giving you my quick thoughts on each of these figures. But before I get into unboxing these guys, let me know what you think of the video by leaving a comment. Also smash the like button as it really helps get the channel out there. And if you're not already, subscribe to NLW Figs for more wrestling figure content. Now without further ado, let's get into it. So we'll start off from over here. First of all, we've got the face of TNT, former TNT champion Darby Allen, with the new updated face paint as well as the TNT Championship. We have Kenny Omega in his blue attire, a new attire for him, an updated face scan as well as a little bit of tweaking and improvements to his figure. The Redeemer Miro in his gamer attire with the camouflage and the blonde hair. We have the first attire of Dr. Britt Baker Dmd, a figure that many people have been clamouring for quite a while. We also have the second figure, or at least I should say third figure, of Dustin Rhodes, the Natural, this time in blue. So now we've got those out of the way, let me unbox them and show you what they're about, and I'll give you my quick thoughts on each of these figures out of the packaging. And here we have them all lined up, so I'll start from this side, and we'll start with Dustin Rhodes, the original American Nightmare. And you can see Dustin here in his blue attire. You know that he's got the red attire already from Series 2. And I actually think this is a better effort from Jazzwares on this Dustin Rhodes. I think the head scan's better. I think, you know, they're getting a little bit better with their accuracy. And it looks a lot more realistic. I also like the blue paint job on the face. I'm also digging this attire that he's got on. The blue and the red, looking quite cool. So yeah, and it's less wobbly and flimsy, although one of the problems I've found with AEW figures is that after a certain amount of time they do get a little bit loose, but that's just kind of a nitpick. For this one though, it moves pretty well, and I think it's got a little bit more, well, he says that and he snaps it off, but yeah, a little bit more mobility than the last one, but not too much. Like, you know, the only problem is kind of the legs don't go up too far, but other than that, like, I like the detail in the figure, like I said, the head scan as well, and it also comes with this spare head scan too, where he's screaming, and also a spare pair of gloves. So a good effort from this Dustin Rhodes. Now we'll move on to Dr. Britt Baker Dmd, the current AEW Women's Champion as I'm recording this. So good to see another women's figure in the line for AEW, because, you know, we've got Riho, Shida, Brandy Rhodes, if you can really count her, but yeah, so it's good to get Dr. Britt Baker. She's the one from the start which a lot of people wanted the figure of, and I'm inclined to agree with that, and I think the attire is pretty good on this one. The face scan might be a little bit off in my view. I mean, I could be nitpicking again. I don't know if it looks has the same resemblance to some of these other figures to their characters, but I still think it's a good figure. Like, it moves quite well, and one of the problems I had with, like, the Riho, and actually the Shida I just picked up as well, is it's difficult, a little bit difficult to pose. They're a little bit flimsy, but this one, it's stiffer joints. That might just be mine though, but I do think that it's more a rigid figure and it's better for posing, I've found, because I've just done a couple of practice poses before I filmed this, so it works pretty well. I would love to add her to NLW. I think she'd be a great character, you know, as the dentist, the ruthless character she's portrayed in the past, and I'm really digging her work in AEW at the moment, so that would be one of the reasons I'd add her to NLW. And of course, here you see the jacket it comes with, comes off and on pretty easily. I like the design on that, and also you've got the lockjaw gloves, which she places on her hands as she delivers her finisher, the lockjaw, so that's good to come with. And now we'll move on to the former best man Miro. Now, what's it? The Redeemer, that's his name now. So he's the current AEW TNT champion, but this is based off of his debut attire when he was hanging around with Kip Sabian. You know, a lot of people didn't really dig that gimmick, and I'm kind of on the same thought process as that. But this this attire, I like the pants. I like the camouflage on it. The only problem is I don't know if the proportions are that correct on, like, the top half is a little bit top heavy, and the face scan, it's okay. It's a little bit, and there's a couple of marks on it as well, like the hair as well. That's just, but then again, it's not a knock on the figure, it's more a knock on the actual attire and the hairstyle. So you got the bleached blonde, so I'm hoping that they do like a more modern Miro when they bring him out later on. The only other problem with this figure as well is his hand is a little bit loose, so that could be a problem when filming. But other than that, like, I think it moves quite well. You know, not my favourite of the bunch, but I'm sure there's going to be more Miro figures in the future. I'd love to see them bring out one with the red attire and the updated Bulgarian TNT Championship, but still a decent figure, and I'm looking forward to maybe adding Miro back to NLW at some point, who knows. But yeah, it's not my favourite gimmick of his. Personally, you know, the video game stuff, I know it's something that's quite dear to him in real life with Twitch streaming and all that, but I think the character he's got now is much more suited to him, and I love the promos he's cutting, referencing his wife and being, you know, the Redeemer and just being unstoppable, this unstoppable machine. So hopefully we get a figure of that sometime in the future, but still, this is good for now. I'm happy with it. But another figure I am very happy with is this Kenny Omega figure. Like, when I first saw the lineup for Unmatched, I wasn't actually planning on getting this one because I thought, I've already got enough Kenny Omega attires. But then they showed off the prototype pictures and the kind of early reveals. I think it was Double or Nothing weekend, and just seeing the blue attire, I was like, right, I've got to get it. Because I think this is the best, undoubtedly the best Kenny Omega they brought out to date. I think the head scan, the updated head scan is better, as you can see there, and these trunks as well. Like, it's made from a different material than usual, you know. You got with these ones, it's a little bit more rubbery, if you know what I mean. But this is like, it feels like decals that have been kind of placed on here, and it gives it a different texture and a different look to the figure, which I'm digging. I hope they try and do more of these complex attires in future. You know, sometimes they tend to come off a little bit too simplistic, the past Kenny Omega figures, but they really knocked it out of the park with this one. And I would say it's probably my favourite out of the bunch, just based on this attire alone. And, you know, it moves well. Because I know one of the problems with the early Kenny Omega figures was the arms were too loose, I should say, as well as, you know, posability was a little bit of a problem, and also the feet on the other ones were a bit naff in my view. But these ones, the feet, they move quite well. They're not loose at all just yet, you know. But yeah, it feels like more of a solid figure, if you know what I mean, especially for like pick fedding and stop motion if you're going to do that. But I would say, again, like, just this attire alone made me want to pick it up, and also the updated head scan. I can mix and match with the other unrivaled figures, so good stuff all around there. And this comes with a spare pair of hands as well. None of the gun fingers, but it does have the ones where he's kind of, you know, posing for his entrance, but you can always mix and match if you've got the other Kenny Omega figures. And finally, we'll move on to former TNT champion, the fearless Darby Allen. So again, a figure that I wasn't actually planning on picking up until I saw the attire and saw the prototype pictures. My favourite one to date. You know, the head scan's been updated to kind of, you know, match the current look of Darby Allen, and the trees. I'm not quite sure, I didn't read the packaging close enough for when this attire was, so someone might have to correct me. I think it could be full gear, I could be wrong, but again, this is, you know, skinny legs. It might be a little bit of a tricky issue if they get loose, so I'm a little bit wary about wearing out the joints too much at the moment. But this attire, like, you know, the back's plain, but on the front, got the trees coming out there, and you know, the design on the denim as well. So, and obviously the tattoo down the arm, kind of updated there. But yeah, I'm looking forward. I would definitely like to add Darby Allen to NLW in future. I think he'd do pretty well in like the hardcore division on metal, but again, like, we'll wait and see what happens. And he's also got the pink nail polish on there. So again, like, my favourite Darby figure, and the thing I like about these AEW figures is they'll release a character and then another iteration later on will improve upon that, and it keeps improving, and that's why I really dig these series of action figures. And this is only the first of the Unmatched lot. So Darby Allen, he also comes with this skateboard, which is the face of TNT, if you can see that. So another cool accessory, another Darby Allen skateboard to add. And Darby Allen, as well as Kenny Omega, he's one of those guys that if a figure's going to come out of him, I'll probably get it for an extra attire. And he also comes with this jacket, which comes off fairly easily, and the updated TNT title. But it does seem as though every time they bring out a new TNT championship, they update it. So this is already out of date, but it looks like they're going to be doing a thing where they have custom championships for each of the guys that wins the title. So obviously Miro will probably have a figure brought out with his Bulgarian title, and then they'll probably change it back to something else. But it's still cool to have, you know, an updated TNT title and a solid collection all round. But wait, there's more. I also got this LGN style Cody Rhodes figure, so it came with the whole package on ringside. and I really like the looks of this. It's a lot bigger than I was expecting it to be, because I was expecting it to be, you know, the standard Hasbro size, like that size, but this thing is absolutely massive. I'm really tempted to take out the packaging, but I feel like because I'm not going to be doing that much with it, it would be cool as just to keep it in like mock condition. So I think I'm just going to keep it in the box for now and see if it accrues value in future. But yeah, like I don't usually keep figures in the box, but for something like this, I think it'd be really cool. You know, it's got the free Cody Rhodes poster inside, and on the back it's got, you know, your bio, your wrestling bio about Cody, and you know, what he's done in AEW, and you can see the poster there. So I really like this this style, this old school style of figure. And I know they're probably bringing out, was it Darby Allen and LGN in Series 3? You know, correct me on that if I'm wrong, but that would be a good one to get as well. I'll definitely get that for my collection. But I'm looking forward to keeping these kind of packaged up, because I don't usually collect, you know, mock figures. I'm usually one to kind of take them out of the packaging, and I like to pose them around a little bit. I don't know why I would buy a figure just to have it kind of gathering dust on the shelf, but this is one that I want to try and keep as a collectible, and I'll see how long that lasts. I would like to keep it in as best condition as possible, you know, because I think it's really cool. And you know, you can see, other than having it on my desk, I don't really see what I'd be doing. I mean, you could always have him kind of rampage the ring, because he's, again, like much taller than the rest of the figures here. So other than the size, like, I think it's a really cool idea, them doing this. So looking forward to seeing what other LGN figures they bring out in the future. So if I had to rank them, I'd say my least favourite is probably Miro, just because of the weird head scan and the weird proportions, but I still like it as a figure. Next up I'd have Dustin Rhodes, only because we've already had a Dustin Rhodes been released, but I do think this is a big improvement over his last figure that he had, so good stuff there. I'm putting Britt Baker in the middle, because I think they could have done a little bit better with the head scan, although that said, it's still good to see Britt Baker as a figure being released, and I would like to see her in NLW at some point. Next up we got Darby Allen, just because, again, I'm a massive Darby Allen fan. I like the paint on him, and also the Darby skateboard that he's got with the face of TNT on it is a must for me. And finally, you know, my favourite has to be Kenny Omega. Great attire, they've knocked it out of the park with this one. Head scan's a lot better too. Just an all-round great figure that I'm looking forward to using in NLW, maybe even at WrestleMania. But that's it for this video. Make sure you smash a like and leave a comment. What do you think of these figures? Have you got them yourself? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to subscribe to NLW Figs if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.